All right, happy Wednesday. It's a nice sunny day here. Maybe we're getting spring for a day. All right, let's get into the news. And before I get into it, just so you know, I'm going to sometime today after this video do a couple of fun videos after this. Still news, but fun news. And actually one is absolutely hysterical. All right, so let's begin. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan visited southern Turkey to see firsthand the destruction wrought by a massive earthquake as anger grew among local people over what they said was a slow government response to the rescue and relief effort. The confirmed death toll from Monday's quake, which struck a swathe of southern Turkey and neighboring Syria, rose to more than 11,000 people in both countries. Biden announced an immediate surge of military deliveries to Ukraine to help it fend off an intensifying Russian offensive and pledged to train its pilots as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in London on a rare visit abroad. Right? The United States held briefings in Washington and Beijing with foreign diplomats from 40 nations about the Chinese spy balloon that entered U.S. airspace in late January, a senior administration official said, and diplomats said. Right. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for strengthening the country's military, state media reported, as he paid tribute to soldiers and met with troops amid expectations for a major military parade showcasing latest weapons. Sweden has moved into the spotlight for violent Islamic extremists globally after a number of incidents, including the recent public burning of the Muslim holy book, the Quran. Security services said. Like I said when this first happened, you are literally not helping anybody, and certainly not yourself, by doing stupid shit like that. Alright, let's move on to U.S. news. Oh, and about the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. I really can't blame people for being frustrated, but if you can't get rescue workers and relief workers to the site because of the earthquakes and the aftermath of the earthquakes, it's kind of hard to have a fast response if you can't even get there. So I see both sides. All right. President Joe Biden challenged Republicans to lift the U.S. debt ceiling and support tax policies that were friendlier to middle-class Americans in a State of the Union speech that served as a blueprint for his 2024 re-election campaign. Now, yes, he did that, and he got heckled many, many times. Maybe one time Kevin McCarthy gave the Republicans the stink eye for heckling, but for the most part, it went on, and Joe just waited till they shut up. But they might have just shot themselves in the foot, because when he mentioned that Republicans want to cut Medicare and Social Security, they all in unison said no, and they were heckling him for even suggesting such a thing. Now, most people who don't follow politics on a daily basis, they do listen to the State of the Union. So that's going to be on their radar. So now if their representatives are Republican and it turns out that they lied, that they're going to try anyway, even though they assured the president that they weren't going to cut those things, though they haven't said then what they do want, what spending cuts they do want to make. So they might have just made their lives so much more difficult. Or maybe I'm giving the American people way too much credit for brains. One of the two. All right. Republicans rejected Biden's call for bipartisanship and instead accused him of stoking culture wars in a nation they described as deeply divided. Who the fuck do you think is dividing us? Your Republicans are dividing us because of the culture wars. The only people who are stoking culture wars are the Republicans by going apeshit because the green M&M doesn't look sexy because candy is supposed to look sexy, I guess. It's chocolate. It looks good. It doesn't need to whatever sexy is in chocolate. I mean, come on. Or the freak out over Mr. Potato Head having being able to be either Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head or a gender. It doesn't matter. But they're the ones who are having these freakouts, not the Democrats. They're doing, they're treating people like human beings, and the Republicans are having a freak out. So, no, it's not Joe Biden who's stoking culture wars here. And that's before we get into being woke, which I saw a great meme that basically said that they have to use the term woke because if they said basic empathy, then you would see that you would see them for the monsters that they are. So yeah, that's basically it. All right. Reviving a tradition of presidents a day after the big speech, Biden is today taking his message on the road with stops in Wisconsin and Florida in the coming days while his wife Jill Biden attends the NFL Super Bowl in Arizona. And he actually made a joke about this that, here he is, he gets to do the State of the Union and, go out and market his plans, and Jill gets to go to the Super Bowl. So he had fun with that one. Senator Mitt Romney told embattled fellow Republican Representative George Santos that he should not be in Congress and shouldn't have taken a central seat in Biden's State of the Union address. That's okay. He probably would have said he was there anyway. But, yes, I totally agree. But do you really think that somebody who's making up everything about their lives, about how awesome they are, and how they're the greatest thing that's ever happened in every industry, you really think that a person like that wouldn't want to have a central seat to the State of the Union? Come on. He makes Donald Trump look reasonable instead of as a raging narcissist that he is. I mean, I don't think Trump lies as much. All right. A Memphis police officer photographed a bludgeoned and handcuffed Tyre Nichols and shared the image with 5 people, including a female acquaintance, in violation of police policy, media reported, citing a report sent to a police review board. Oh, what is wrong with people? My God. I mean, it's bad enough that you beat someone, but to be so proud of it that you're sending it out, how depraved do you have to be as a human being that you would think that A, beating someone to death is a fun time, or B, sending that shit out so everyone could know that you're a depraved piece of shit? I mean, what exactly do you think you're accomplishing here? All right, let's move on to business and markets. Shares jumped and most currencies rose against the dollar as investors discerned a dovish tone in comments from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, though a policy tweak by ECB meant European bonds sat out the rally. Okay. All right. Shoppers around the world will pay even more for groceries this year than they did in 2022, according to retailers, consumer goods firms, and investors, unless commodity costs decline or the shift to cheaper store brand products accelerates. Which, yeah, once people discover that store brand stuff is cheaper, it's going to accelerate. Unless you're really, really all about the brand, then maybe not. Norwegian oil and gas producer Equinor posted a record $74.9 billion adjusted operating profit for 2022, more than double its previous high as gas prices soared. French oil major Total Energies posted a record net profit of $36.2 billion in 2022, joining in the sector's bumper earnings. That is just obscene. People are struggling to get by with all this horrible inflation, and it's like, hey, look at the profits we're making. Really? At that point, do you really need that much profit? I mean, it's not like you're just breaking even or just barely making a profit. This is a lot of profit. Western sanctions on Russia have significantly reduced state oil revenues and diverted tens of billions of dollars towards shipping and refining firms, some with Russian connections. And that helps how? Most of the winners from the sanctions are based in China, India, Greece, and the United Arab Emirates, at least 20 trading and banking sources said. And we already know that India is getting their oil now from, instead of Iraq, they're getting it from Russia. So Microsoft is revamping its Bing search engine and Edge web browser with artificial intelligence, signaling its ambition to retake the lead in consumer technology markets where it has fallen behind. The maker of the Windows operating system is staking its future on AI through billions of dollars of investment as it directly challenges Alphabet's Google. Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger is expected to discuss a turnaround plan today, and when the media company delivers its first quarterly results since the return of the executive who built the modern incarnation of Disney. And that is all I have, and as usual, if there's anything that you want me to go more in depth in, just let me know in the comments. Same with if there's a news item that you want to bring to my attention and you think I should do a video about. Again, put it in the comments below and I will definitely take a look at that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a couple of really funny stories that I want to do separate videos for. And that will happen sometime later today. So with that, I will see you guys next time.